Hello and welcome to PassFCE, episode 12. In this episode of PassFCE, I'd like you to meet two FCE students who are studying with me at the moment, Miguel and Pau. Welcome to PassFCE, a Mention Inglés podcast specifically created to help you pass the Cambridge First Certificate in English exam. I'm Craig. I'm a teacher at the British Council here in Valencia, Spain. I'm a Cambridge oral examiner with over 20 years of teaching experience. You can learn English free at our website mentioningles.com, and you can take your English to the next level with our audio podcasts at inglespodcast.com. This is not a full FCE speaking test that you're going to hear, but I do ask some questions that are similar to those you may hear in part 1 of the speaking test. So let's start straight away. Let me introduce you to Miguel. Well, today I'm here with Miguel. Hello, Miguel.
Hello, Craig.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for agreeing to speak to me today so that our listeners can hear you speaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Miguel, how long have you been studying English?
Okay, I've been studying English for 10 years, more or less.
And why are you studying for the FCE exam? Do you need it for your job, or what's the reason for you studying?
I don't need the FCE for my job, but I think it's very important to have a certificate for your English.
Okay. And when are you taking the exam? Are you taking the exam this year?
Yes, I'm taking the exam in June.
And how are you feeling about passing? Are you confident? Is it going okay?
I'm not very confident right now, but for this I am in English class. I need to study more and to practice more English exam, because you have to practice the way to do the exam.
And how many hours a week? You're taking classes for 4 hours on Saturday morning. Are you studying during the week? Do you have time?
Yes, you have to study during the week, because if not, it's not possible to pass the exam. Normally, I study 1 hour per day, at least 1 hour per day.
That's very good. 1 hour a day is excellent. Which part of the exam at the moment is most difficult for you? Are you finding the reading more difficult, or the speaking, or the listening? Which part is difficult for you?
The most difficult for me is the use of English part. The grammar part is the most difficult, because I don't like to spend my time study grammar, and this is the most difficult. I prefer reading, and I prefer listening some TV films or something like that, and for this it's easy for me to pass this part of the exam, but use of English is really difficult.
Yeah, it's a difficult part of the exam. Are you listening to our podcast, Aprender Inglés con Rezi, Craig?
Yes, of course.
That's a very good way for you to improve your grammar, by listening to our podcast.
Yes.
We speak about grammar. Okay, Miguel, I'd like to ask you some questions from part 1 of the speaking paper. Okay? So, where are you from?
I'm from Spain. I'm from Valencia.
And do you have a busy life at the moment?
Yes, I have. I have a busy life at the moment, because I'm working and I study in English for the FCE.
An hour. You're studying an hour a day.
Yes.
What do you do? What do you do for a living?
I'm working for a company, and I am a pricing manager of this company.
And what does your company do? Does it sell a product, or?
It's a cosmetics company.
Uh-huh. Is there a sport or a hobby that you enjoy doing?
Yes, there is. I love horses, and I like to ride in a horse. Normally every weekend I try to do this.
Do you have your own horse, or do you go to a place where there are horses that you ride?
No, I have two horses in my town, and for this I went to my. Normally I go to my village every weekend after English class, of course, after in my Saturday English class.
So Miguel, what is your favorite day of the week?
My favorite day of the week, I think is for me every days are good, but my favorite is maybe Sunday morning because I have more leisure time and I have to do everything that I want.
Do you use the internet every day?
Yes, I think I use the internet every day. Sometimes I think so much.
What do you use it for?
For watch, for read the newspaper, for many things. Read the newspaper, check Facebook for the life of my friends, send some emails to my friends, to use, of course, for working.
Of course. So have you got any plans for this weekend? Are you going horse riding today, for example?
No, today I have a birthday party of one of my friends, and it's really cold, really freezing cold today, and for this reason I want to go to my village. I will go to a birthday party, and after that on Saturday morning and only relax and maybe a practice for first certificate.
Well, good luck, and thank you very much, Miguel, for agreeing to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miguel spoke very well. He didn't seem to be nervous, and he was very clear and easy to understand. I liked his first answer when he used the present perfect continuous tense very well. He said, "I've been studying English for 10 years, more or less." Very good. Teachers love to hear the verb tenses used correctly and with the correct time references, like for 10 years or since 2005. He also used the present continuous correctly when he spoke about a future plan. He said, "I'm taking the exam in June." Wonderful. Miguel said, "You have to practice the way to do the exam," which is fine. He could also have said, "You have to learn how to do the exam." You have to learn how to do it, how to do the exam. I like the expression he used, "I don't like to spend my time." But when this expression is followed with a verb, you need a gerund, an ing verb. So it's, "I don't like to spend my time studying grammar." Miguel remembered that after some adjectives like easy or difficult, etc., you need a pronoun and then the infinitive with to. He said, "It's easy for me to pass this part of the exam." Very good, Miguel. It wasn't clear to me exactly what Miguel's job title is. I understood manager, but the first word wasn't clear. However, I did understand that he works for a cosmetics company. It's very important to know how to talk about your job and your studies in English. So do check the translation in English of your profession and learn some key words so that you can talk about it easily and clearly. Miguel loves horses, but he said, "I like to riding horses." After verbs like love, hate, etc., we can use a gerund or an infinitive, but not both. The easiest is to use the gerund. So, I like riding horses. I love going skiing. I hate doing exercise, etc. Miguel made a small mistake with a tense when he said, "I went to my village." But he quickly corrected himself and said, "I normally go to my village every weekend." This is exactly what you should do in the exam. Correct yourself immediately if you make a mistake so that the examiners see that you know the correct grammar or expression. Miguel said, I have more leisure time, which is a nice expression. I have to do what I want. Have to is for obligation. I think it's better to say I can do what I want. Miguel uses the internet for read the newspaper, but after prepositions the verb is a gerund, so he should have said I use the internet for reading newspapers, or for checking Facebook, or for sending emails. But Miguel does correct himself at the end when he says for working. I also liked Miguel's expression, it's freezing cold today. Very nice. He said at the end, I will go to a birthday party, but to me it sounded like a plan, an arrangement. So it's better to use the present continuous. I'm going to a birthday party today. Now let me introduce you to Pau. If you listen to our other podcast for Spanish speakers, Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig, at inglespodcast.com, you may have heard me speak about Pau and answer some of his questions on the podcast. Pau is the question king, and I love getting Pau's questions and answering them with Reza on the podcast. Teachers love getting questions from students who are really thinking about the language. So if you are studying with a teacher at the moment, ask a lot of questions. Anyway, let me introduce you now to Pau. Okay, I'm here with another student, Pau. Hello, Pau.
Hello, Craig.
How are you doing?
Fine, and you?
Very well, thank you. And thank you for agreeing to talk to me today and maybe help some other students who are studying for the exam. I'd like you, if you could, to explain why you are studying for the exam. What are your reasons for taking the FCE?
Well, there are two reasons, basically. And the first one is for personal reason, and the other is to try to get a better job.
Okay. And what do you do at the moment?
I am working as a manager to a company of hypermarkets.
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 So you're in the food industry and the
yes,
and the food business.
Basically, I'm selling food. Yes.
Do you travel a lot with that?
Yes, I travel quite a lot.
Abroad or mainly?
No, in the local area, in Valencia and Murcia.
Okay. So thinking of the exam, the FCE exam, which part do you find most difficult at the moment?
For me, the most difficult is the use of English. Because there are a lot of topics of grammar that you have to use very well, and there are phrasal verbs, a lot of phrasal verbs, and a lot of word collocations, like and prepositions.
Are you doing anything special to improve? Are you doing any particular exercises or anything at home that might help other people?
I try to practice as much I can, and I've divided my notebook in different parts to try to memorize the phrasal verbs, word collocations, or topics of grammar or word transformations more useful in the exam.
So you have different sections of your notebook, like you have a section for collocations, a section for phrasal verbs. Mm-hmm. That's very useful. That's a good idea. Okay. So how many hours do you think you're studying per week, apart from the 4 hours here on Saturday?
1 hour a day, at least. Mm-hmm.
Good. Excellent. Now, Pau, can I ask you some questions from part 1 of the speaking paper, from the speaking test?
Okay.
So, where are you from, Pau?
I am from Barcelona.
And do you have a busy life?
Yes, I'm quite busy, fortunately.
Who are you most like in your family, do you think?
Physically, I think that I looks like my father, but the character, my friends told me that I looks like my mother.
Your mother?
Yes.
Thank you. And Is there a sport or hobby that you enjoy doing apart from studying English?
Apart from studying English, I don't have enough time, but I used to go and make a sport.
Which sports do you enjoy doing?
Running and swimming.
And what's your favourite day of the week?
Maybe the Friday night, because I stop working and I've got a long weekend to enjoy myself.
If you could learn a new skill, what would you choose to do?
If I have more time, I like to learn French or German.
So you choose another language
Yes.
to learn. And which country would you most like to visit in the future?
USA.
Why?
Because I think that is quite different than Europe, the way of living in Europe. So it's a very big country. It's almost like all Europe is like USA. It's big. It's as big as
would you go to any particular city or area?
New York.
Why?
Because I think that is, I don't know, maybe because it's the biggest city I could visit, and it's very interesting. A mix of cultures, very important.
Okay, finally, have you got any plans for this weekend?
Yes, after class I'm going swimming 1 hour, and after that I'm going to watch the football match between Atletico and Real Madrid.
And who do you think will win?
I hope Atletico.
Are you a fan of Atletico Madrid? But you said you're from Barcelona.
Yes, but I prefer...
You know this is going to be heard by a lot of people. Pau, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think you can hear that Pau is really working hard on improving his pronunciation, and it's working. He sounds clear, and he's concentrating on his vowel sounds, and he's trying to speak English with correct and accurate pronunciation. He speaks quite fluently and with confidence. Pau says that he's working as a manager to a company of hypermarkets. I'm pleased he said working as a manager, because it's a common mistake to say working like a manager. That's not correct. It's working as a manager, or working as a nurse, or working as a teacher. However, Pau uses the preposition to, but it should be for. I'm working for a company. Pau's working for a company. I work for the British Council. Maybe you work for yourself, which means you're self-employed. But the correct preposition is for. Pau also said, I'm looks like my father, and my friends told me that I'm looks like my mother. I'm pleased that Pau used told me and not said me, which is a common mistake, so well done, Pau. But I think he's confusing two things. I think he's confusing I'm like my mother and I look like my mother. Both mean to be similar to. To look like is appearance and physical features. To be like, for example, I'm like my sister, can be personality or it can be physical appearance. Reza and I speak more about these expressions on Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig episode 44, so I'll put a link to that episode in the show notes and the transcription at inglespodcast.com. Pau said that he used to make sports. He uses used to correctly here because he's speaking about the past. But the collocation with sports is do, not make. So, I used to do sports is correct. I was pleased to hear Pau say, I've got a long weekend to enjoy myself. It's a common mistake to forget that enjoy needs an object. Enjoy the party, enjoy the film, enjoy life. enjoy it, or in this case, a reflexive pronoun, enjoy myself. Pal tries to use the second conditional, which we haven't practiced in our class yet, so I thought that was very adventurous. He says, if I have more time, I'd like to learn French. But because it's a hypothetical situation, it's not a real situation. Pal doesn't have time. He should have used the past simple, if I had more time. And also the conditional would. I would like to learn French. So the correct conditional would be, if I had more time, I would, or I'd, like to learn French. Don't worry, pal, we're going to study conditional if sentences before the exam. Pal speaks about visiting the USA quite well. He's attracted to the way of life, and New York is the biggest, most important city he could visit. Pal says it's a mix of cultures. With these questions in the exam, you are expected to give your reasons and justify what you say. So explain your choice and speak about how you feel. If you have any questions about this part of the exam or any part of the FCE exam, please send me an email to craig@inglespodcast.com or record a voice message on our website at inglespodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back very soon with another episode of PassFCE. Remember, you can learn English free at mansioningles.com and take your English to the next level with our audio podcasts at inglespodcast.com. Our new CD, Mansion First, is full of practice material, useful advice, and realistic exam practice tests that will prepare you for taking the Cambridge FCE exam. This course is now also available as a digital download direct to your PC. You can find more details of our FCE course on our webpage at mansioningles.com. The music in this podcast is by Stefsax. The track is called Owl. CC attribution license from ccmixter.com.
Composure on the inside, ulcer on the outside. Footsteps tap cool.